over here for back with another chapter of Expected Unexpected by Vulpix. I figured it'd just be easier to see you doing the reading fanfiction for now. Still like to figure out how this should sort out Fallout 4, but I think I do have an idea. So hopefully Fallout 4 will come out next week. Fingers crossed. If not, it's just going to be another reading fanfiction video. But we're currently on chapter 88. And if you want to follow along, looks like always, but this chapter link will be in the description below. As always, highly recommend you follow along because I have a habit of skipping over words or struggling with them or stuttering over them. So really do highly recommend. Plus, you can leave a review, show the office some love after we're done here. And you can continue reading too. So I can't really stop you from doing that. But yeah, let's just get right into it, shall we, with chapter 88. Shooting. Jerry looked even more terrified at Ruby's eagerness and took a long swig of his now cold coffee, hoping to postpone the inevitable. Eventually, the teens whining started to contain hints of threats in it, which was a sign her patience was running out. But she wasn't willing to do anything around the kid. Didn't mean she wouldn't make him pay later. She did get a move on, though. Jerry finally gathered his equipment and put most of it in Jean's truck. She would feed them at the ranch. Jerry and Ruby started off on their walk, Amelia and the kids waving goodbye from the doorway. It was hard to give directions to the place, so he didn't quite trust Ruby to walk there by herself. Though he wouldn't say that to her face. If you shoot me, even by accident, Jerry warned, but he had nothing to back up the threat. What would he do? Throw her back? Yeah, right. Ruby rolled her eyes. Yeah, you killed me. That was a little unexpected, but at least she wouldn't be aiming at him. Sounds like he was one of the few people who could get away with that. Jeremy noted. A simple statement, not a taunt, or that you actually respect. He had seen a fair bit of his sister and his relationship, but really involving a very stressed and nearly deadly week. Ruby asked, she's alright. A pause. Kind of damn scary when she's actually mad. She muttered under her breath. What did she do? Jeremy asked, both curious about what Hedy might have said or done to get Ruby in line and what could have happened for Hedy to lose her patience. Ruby glanced at him, a strange, unidentifiable emotion in her eyes. Why did Toby and Puppet go too far? I've heard her talking to him, keeping her anger barely controlled. She looked forward again. She reminds me of my mom. Jimmy started. That's one hell of a compliment. Rose and he were never met, but he could see some similarities. They both had the patience of the saint, but was usually an act, sternly squashing a lake of vicious anger every once in a while. Plus, Ruby exploded when she grew angry. When Rose was angry with you, she'd smile in a way that let you know she's plotting a murder. A very painful, torturous murder. So yes, there was definitely a similarity. Ruby shrugged a little. I'm reckless, not stupid. I don't know who the building was sided with between us. Jerry looked a bit annoyed at the reminder of the weird building in the sentence. Well, if it means anything, I hope you don't find out, Jeremy said. They walked for a bit, Ruby studying their path and the landmarks, probably so she would know how to come this way again. Hedy is fine, isn't she? The man asked. That fake ghost crap the building puts on her won't hurt her, right? She's fine. Ruby didn't sound concerned. The building is protective. It wouldn't hurt her. Besides, it only affects her when she's in the building. She glanced at him out of the corner of her eye. I'd have told her to leave it was hurting her. She might not have listened, Jeremy said, frowning. Hedy used to refuse to come anywhere near the pizzeria. She hated it. She even hated to stop mentioning it. Now, though, she accidentally called it a home when I picked her up from the hospital. Ruby out. Yeah, she's pretty stubborn. It probably wouldn't have worked. Jerry huffed and nudged her, gesturing down a dirt road that had to take off the main road. That way. We have to follow this road for about 40 minutes. He was a bit surprised how far they got while just talking. Ruby just nodded. He used to walk long distances. They talked about a few things, though mostly Jeremy was asking Ruby to slow down, and she'd call him old. They did eventually get to the ranch at the end of a long, suspicious driveway, but Edie's vehicle identified that they were at the right place. Rue is bouncing around in excitement now. Did the girl ever run out of energy? Besides, when she was running from homicidal ghosts and robots before. Jerry told her to wait with Phoebe while he chatted with the landowner, a white-haired old man who seemed to have one foot in the grave with a wide grin on his face. He seemed more than pleased to see Jeremy. He waved towards the field and nodded, gesturing back to the shed right beside the house where he told Jeremy he still kept targets. Meanwhile, Ruby watched as Hedy checked the guns, carefully making sure they were not loaded. Get that fold-out table, she said. That's what we'll put the equipment on. Ruby skipped off to do that. She was way too excited about this. Well, I brought her, Jeremy said as he proceeded to gather the weapons. That was built, isn't it? We can just leave. He snorted. Yeah, if you want Ruby to be pissed at you, Hedy said. Relax. She's not stupid. She'll listen to your safety stuff. A pissed off Ruby was probably scarier than a Ruby with a gun, but just by a little. Plus, she looked so happy at the moment. Jeremy set up a target, and soon he was showing Ruby a pistol. He didn't want to set up the clay pigeons or a shotgun yet. You've shot before? He asked worriedly. Yep, Ruby answered happily. A handgun. I made friends with a biker gang. He and Jeremy just stared at her. What? He asked. Biker gang? Ruby repeated. Hellfire? They're pretty cool. I hang out with them every month or so. Bikers are surprisingly protective, you know. They taught me to shoot. Jeremy stared. He knew about them. He'd actually arrested a couple of them over the years, mostly due to just bar fights, though. Besides that, they really were just dudes, and a couple of women, who traveled together. Still. Okay? He shook himself. Walk me through the steps of what you're supposed to do. Ruby rattled off the steps with ease. The bikers had drilled it into her so she wouldn't end up hurting herself. Jeremy nodded along. Okay, now show me. He set handgun down and handed both girls some earplugs and safety glasses. Ruby picked it up and repeated herself. Always assume a gun is loaded, she said again. Keep my finger off the trigger until I'm ready to shoot. Never point at something I don't want to shoot. Check that the safety is on. Check the chamber for ammo. Be clear. Pick up the magazine. Smack it in. Switch the safety off. Cock the gun. Aim. And bang! It had more recoil than she thought. She hit the target at least, but it was way off from the center. Still, not a bad shot if she hadn't done it in a while. Squeeze and follow through, she finished, aiming it at him. She set down the gun, keeping it pointed at the target. Good, Jeremy admitted. Pick it up again and do your stance. Ruby did so, finger off the trigger, and Jeremy straightened up her shoulder. Put your feet shoulder length apart and jump up and down. Ruby gave him a weird look, but did as told. See where your feet are? Said, this is your natural stance. Bend your knees a little more and lean forward a bit. Are you left eye or right eye dominant? Left, she answered, shifting her stance a little and eyeing the target. The sparkle in her eye was a little disturbing, considering the gun put it there. Okay, you're already shooting with the correct hand then, Jeremy said, noting she was left-handed too. Try again. Keep your feet there. I'm assuming you already know how to aim the sight. This time, try taking 2 deep breaths, hold the third one in, fire, then let it out when you see where it hits. He smiled a bit. Jeremy was acting so freaked about this earlier, but now he was acting very comfortable, like a fish in the water. She wondered if being trained to death at work. Surprisingly, Ruby was good about instructions. They'd half expected her to be a horror to teach. Instead, she listened to what he said and got a lot closer to the instructor this time. Hedy went off to the side and took Jeremy's other handgun, prepping it for herself. She obviously couldn't do all the stance stuff, but she knew how to shoot. The work was mostly in the arms for her. Keep going, Jeremy said to Ruby as Hedy started firing. Just keep shooting and practice. Let me know when you empty the clip. You've got 8 rounds left. He glanced at Hedy, silently asking her to keep an eye on Ruby, and went to get the pigeon launcher from the farmer's shed. It was machined launched clay discs into the air that they shot with shotguns. Ruby gradually got the hang of the weapon. She had naturally good aim, so it wasn't long before she hit the center pretty reliably. Probably all the target practice she used the bots for. Hedy couldn't help laughing at the thought. Ruby glanced over at her fiercely. What's funny? She edited the clip and was waiting for Jeremy. I was picturing how mad a few bots are going to be that your aim naturally gets better after this. Ruby grinned wickedly. I'll play your brother. Oh, I'm sure Foxy will love that. Hedy snorted. Her grin just widened. She liked messing with Jeremy too much. Jerry saw Ruby smile as he came back and glared suspiciously. He put the pigeon launcher in place and showed Ruby how to refill the magazine clip with bullets after checking that she put the gun safely back on. Can we say so with clown faces? It would motivate you to shoot more accurately. They weren't sure if she was joking or not. Now, are you talking puppet face or a generic clown face? He snorted. Ruby snickered in reply. When they had shot for a while, effectively decimating the impatient targets, Jerry set up clean targets and let Ruby shoot them with clip. Downrange, with no one touching the gun, Jerry carefully tore off the targets and brought them back. "You got better," Jerry said, handing Ruby's target to her. She could show it off if she wanted. "Your grouping could be a lot better, which just means you have to practice your form until it's consistent. But see how it's all around the center, but mostly to the right?" He pointed to the splattering of shots, all 10 having hit the target. "You've got good aim, but you're impatient. You pull the trigger too fast, and that pushes the barrel to the right a little as you shoot." Ruby nodded. "Rufus?" "Yeah, accuracy and precision are two different things," Jerry said. For him, shooting was much more than point, shoot, don't hurt yourself, like the biker thing. Look at Hedy's. See how she had this one big hole and a bunch of small ones, where most of her shots hit around the same place over and over again? She's more precise, even if she's above the middle and didn't hit the center. "What does that mean?" Ruby asked, actually interested. It was a little bizarre to have the team listening so well. She was half waiting for the other shoe to drop. "Hedy?" Hedy sighed, annoyed with himself. "I reacted to the clue before it happened and jerked the barrel up instead of holding it still." She looked at Jeremy. "If I tried to hold it more still, my shot's still below. Because you overcompensate. Practice," Jeremy said, shrugging. Basically, she's thinking too far ahead instead of just taking a breath and focusing on her form at the moment. Ruby snorted. "This sounds like psychology." She grinned, still bouncing a little. She was definitely having fun. "Maybe. It's mostly just practice," Jeremy said, glancing at his target before tossing in the trash bag he brought. He looked a bit hesitant, but was much more comfortable with Ruby's respect for safety now. "Want to shoot a handgun more or get the shotgun?" The wide smile and almost manic look in Ruby's eyes gave her answer away. All right, he said as she spilled. He handed Hedy a shotgun and ignored her fussing with it as he pushed the launcher into place and got the box play pigeon. "This is how you load, Ruby. You pay attention. You paying attention?" "Yeah, I'm watching," she assured. "That arm is going to swing around and throw this like a frisbee. Don't be standing where it's going to hit you like you are." Ruby bounced out of the way, to the other side of him. "You put this arm back until you hear the click. Watch your fingers. Okay, you just set the distance here, right? Make sure it's pointed in the right direction. When the shooter yells, 'pull,' you pull this string." He did so, and the clay target was flung across the field, curving through the air before disappearing. "Hedy? Just a sec," Hedy said. She moved to a better position and loaded her shell, cocking the gun. "Maybe you should use 20 balls instead of 12, Jerry said, placing it on the target. "I've got it," Hedy insisted, tucking the butt of her gun into her armpit. "Your stitches." "I'm fine, Jeremy." Jerry sighed and headed Ruby to pull string. "Pull," Hedy ordered, and Ruby yanked the string, a bit harder than she meant. The launcher rocked a bit, but the target flew. Hedy watched it for a second, and right when Ruby thought she was going to let go, she fired. It was definitely louder than a handgun. She missed, and Jeremy laughed at her. "Shut up! Put another one." Ruby picked a pigeon out of the box and put it on the launcher. "Ready? Pull." This time the target exploded into a satisfying cloud of dust and pieces powerful? Nope, the 12 is. Weird. It's a bunch of history stuff about splitting up a pound of lead. Jerry waved her off. Ruby pulled a face. Skip the history. Let's get to the part where I blew up the clay pigeon. She made grabby hands at the gun, which was both disturbing and endearing. Hedy rolled her eyes. This time it was her who showed Ruby how to shoot the shotgun, swinging the barrel up to click it in place. Mary just watched carefully. It was interesting how much Hedy knew about firearms. Do the toys know how good you are with guns? Ruby asked. I think you should be a lot more nervous when you're holding a paintball gun than they are. My little secret, Hedy said with a smirk. I rather like being underestimated sometimes. Makes it more fun when it's the right moment to shock people. Ruby looked thoughtful. Yeah, being underestimated makes her feel a hell of a lot of fun, she admitted. And I've had no reason to scare anyone by outright claiming I'm better shot than you. Ruby looked offended. Excuse me? I'm a master at paintball. Sure, you're probably better with a gun, but I'll beat you at paintball any day. Any day. A paintball gun is still a gun, he said. Jerry groaned, sensing competition taking forward. Can you both please not put anyone through the insanity we just survived for a while at least? No more paintball fights for at least I don't know. He threw his hands up a little. The clothes we were wearing last night are completely ruined, and I still have bruises. Now learn to dodge, Ruby deadpan. That's all like training so you don't die in a shootout with a gang. She paused. Not that I'm saying there aren't any gangs nearby, or that I know them. You already said you. Jerry groaned and face palmed. You can't actually dodge bullets. That's not what the Matrix says. Ruby sings on. I want a cool trench coat. Jerry immediately had intense anxiety at the rationality of that. Part of him feared Ruby actually trying to dodge bullets, and he felt his heart rate spike. He didn't look as concerned and finished explaining to Ruby how to hold the shotgun. She gestured for Jeremy to set up another flame target. The team was honestly giddy as she held the weapon. Thankfully, she still followed the instructions. After Hedy checked that everything was safe and in order, she covered her ears, having taken out her ear protection for a moment. I nodded. Pull, Ruby said, and Jeremy released the pigeon. Ruby followed it for a moment like Hedy had shown before squeezing the trigger. Jeremy and Hedy could see she got close, but the shot just barely clipped the target and the rest got away. The team made an annoying noise as she shook her arm out. She underestimated the recoil again. You really have to tuck into the soft part of your shoulder, more into the armpit than on the shoulder itself, he said. And you have to keep following the target the whole time, Jerry said. You don't try to guess ahead of where it's going to be and then stop the shoot. You have to follow it and follow through after pulling the trigger. You don't have to be as precise with the shotgun. Rudy acknowledged the advice of the hum. Okay, less precision, more power. She rubbed her arm again before getting the shotgun ready again. Hedy quickly took the moment to stuff the earplugs back in her ears while Jeremy got another target. Whenever you're ready, he said. Ruby took a moment to make sure she was steady before calling out. Pull! This time she kept her sharp gaze on the target as it flew, following it with a gun. She pulled the trigger and smiled as the target exploded. Okay, that's pretty satisfying. Jerry smirked, still fairly worried about her excitement. But Ruby did as she was told and kept the gun pointed downrange. He kind of expected her to play around with the gun, like he'd seen her play around with very real swords before. She never pointed them anywhere but the target or the ground though, and certainly didn't come close to pointing them at either Jeremy or Hedy. If he didn't know her better, he'd think she was actually being responsible. Hedy handed Ruby another shell and got her own gun ready. I better to get two at once. Jerry sighed. Here comes the competition. He dutifully put two of the frisbee-shaped targets on the launcher, stacking them. Ruby's eyes lit up at the challenge. It was going to be a long day, for Jeremy at least. They shot long into the afternoon until all the rounds Jeremy had brought were spent, and they were all tired and overheated from the sun. The farmer had been kind enough to bring a pitcher of water outside to them. In the end, it wasn't a clear-cut decision of who was the better shot between Ruby and Hedy. He had more practice, but Ruby had the advantage of a full range of emotion, and they both had great hand-eye coordination. Jerry just sort of stayed in the background while two of the scariest girls he knew bickered over who could shoot a gun better. Eventually, it was time to go, and the two helped him pack up everything and put it back into his truck. That was fun, Julia said with a yawn. Jerry handed Ruby her best shot paper target from earlier, finally wondering if she'd frame it. Hmm, Ruby hummed in agreement. We should have another paintball night. Jerry just groaned. He doesn't want to have those nights for a good long while. And that's the end of chapter 88. A little longer, but it was fun. I mean, actually got to see Ruby actually serious, kind of. I mean, she was taking the gun safety very serious, which is good. So she was being very responsible there. So anyway, hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like on the video. No comments. I don't want any comments. I want you to leave a review, show the audience love, like I said at the beginning. Chapter link is in the description below. So go. But before you do go, be sure to subscribe for new videos every Friday and Saturday. And I'll see you guys tomorrow with the next chapter of Beauty of the Mind.